With the NFL draft in the books, it is time to turn our attention to the UDFA signings, the guys Denver signed after the draft was over. Now, Denver is in their own tier of UDFA talent evaluation. They have such a rich history of finding guys after the draft. I mean, Chris Harris, Rod Smith, Philip Lindsay, and the list goes on and on. Every single year, there seems to be a player that makes the 53-man roster. I think 18 out of the last 19 years, a UDFA has made the initial 53-man roster. So very good chance one of these names is going to be on the Broncos roster in September. Now, before we look at all these guys in closer detail, we're so close to reaching 35,000 subscribers, less than 200 away. Help us reach our milestone to close up the entire draft process. Scroll on down, please, and click that sub button. Now, the first guy I want to look at is probably the best UDFA signing. It is a guard from Jacksonville State, Clay Webb. So Chad Reuter from NFL.com did rankings of every single positions and all the UDFAs under those positions. Clay came in at number 2 for the interior offensive line. A little bit of background on him. He played 3 years at Georgia, never saw the field. Then he transfers to Jacksonville State, where he's a 3-year starter for them. Last year, first team All-Conference USA. 6'3", 312 pounds. Now, like a lot of these UDFAs, he's pretty old. I mean, he's from Oxford, Alabama, born in 2000, which, by the way, you want to hear something sad? This is the last draft where someone will be born in the 90s. That's disgusting. But anywho, he's 25 years old. So he was a 5-star recruit coming out of Oxford, Alabama. So a big get for Georgia, just never really breaks out there. Then he transfers to Jacksonville State, where he's got a lot more success. I think he's got a very good chance of making this 53-man roster. Last year, Frank Crum from Wyoming was an offensive lineman who made the roster. I think Webb could really push for an interior offensive line job, especially with Ben Powers entering a contract year and the centers not being super, inspiring, we'll say. There's a good chance that Webb could be on Denver's roster. Next guy I want to look at is linebacker J.B. Brown. Started off at Bowling Green, transfers to Kansas. He was an honorable mention All Big 12 player. Career high 74 tackles and 5 sacks his last year in Lawrence, starting 12 games. All right, let's take a look at another player. This would be a wide receiver from Arkansas State. We've got Courtney Jackson. He did kind of the opposite of most transfers. I mean, he started off at a big school and then went to a small school. Kind of like, I guess, Clay Webb, sorry. So Courtney Jackson started off at Syracuse and then transfers to Arkansas State. Hauled in 689 yards on 39 catches with a team leading 7 touchdowns throughout his career, I believe. He was a big-time recruit, similar to Clay, rated as ESPN's number 67 wide receiver in the class of 2019, 5th best overall prospect from Pennsylvania. So you're finding a couple of guys who didn't quite live up to maybe what they were, hoping to be in college, but have plenty of talent from their early goings, and Denver's going to try and coach them up and get that talent out of them. And I think that's why Denver, whether it's Sean Payton, Vic Fangio, there's just something in the water when it comes to finding the best undrafted free agents. Let's take a look at Jaden Robinson. This is a cornerback out of Oregon State. So here's what I got on Robinson. He was the number 18 corner on Reuter's top corner free agents after the draft. He's pretty old. Freshman year was 2018. Not a lot of production, 0 interceptions. Listen, I'm not going to try and be negative to any of these UDFAs. It's an awesome moment for them to get an opportunity to play in the NFL and try and make the most of it. So I don't think this is one of the leading candidates to make the roster, but maybe the practice squad. So rooting for you, Jaden. All right, let's peek at another one, and then we'll talk all about our friends at Atlas. We got Newton coming up next, wide receiver from Toledo. So Jawan Newton. I like Jawan Newton. That makes a lot of sense. So from Florida, and get this, he's pretty old too, 6-year senior. A lot of these guys are going to be older than players who have been on the team for a year or two. He's going to be like Nick Bonito age. He was the number 22 for Reuter at the wide receiver position. He is Toledo's all-time leader in touchdown receptions with 32. 3-time All-MAC selection. And I noticed when reading his bio from the Toledo website, mechanical engineering major. I had a lot of friends in college with that major. They were way smarter than me. I went to sports trivia and watched movies every single weeknight. They did homework. So this is a guy that's going to pick up the playbook and learn it pretty quickly, I'd suspect. Now, a quick shout out to our friends over at House of Atlas. They gifted us one of their razors as they are a new shaving company, and I'm honestly kind of blown away by it. It's insanely sleek looking and sitting in my bathroom, but it gives me an incredibly close shave as well. The premium razor kits come with a magnetic storage hook that you can attach to your bathroom mirror or medicine cabinet for easy storage. Their aftershave is awesome. It doesn't burn like old school aftershave. It has a nice cooling sensation, and it smells really good. And now, for a limited time, they are offering 15% off your first order when you purchase any razor kit and the before and after set, which includes the Precision Shave Cream and Calming Aftershave. Use code CHAT at houseofatlas.com. That's HOUSEOFATLAS.com with promo code CHAT for 15% off your new razor kit and before and after set. Stop wasting money and time on shaving products that don't look good, aren't effective, and cost way too much. Visit houseofatlas.com today. Trust me, you're going to love it as much as I did. Right after we finished filming today's episode, Denver actually signed another UDFA, and I do want to talk about that player because I think he could be a good UDFA sleeper, and that is an offensive lineman out of Kentucky, Marques Cox. He was the number 22 offensive lineman from Chad Reuter's offensive line UDFA rankings. He played at Northern Illinois for 5 seasons, then transfers to Kentucky. In his career, 61 games, 59 starts, most of those obviously coming with the Huskies. But at Kentucky, he started 25 of 25 games. So Denver did not prioritize offensive line in the draft, but they have now with multiple UDFA signings. All right, now I'm going to throw it back to old me before this signing came out. Xavier Truss, an offensive tackle out of Georgia. I wonder if he was teammates with Clay Webb. Yeah, definitely was. So a little reunion here as Xavier, like a lot of guys, is on the older end. He was the number 9 interior offensive lineman on Reuter's rankings. Here's what I've got on him, though, in more detail. So Truss was a 3-year starter for the Bulldogs all over the offensive line. You ready for this? 23 starts at right tackle. Watch out, McGlinchey. 16 starts at left guard. Watch out, Powers. 2 starts at right guard. Miners, you're fine. 1 start at left tackle. Bulls, you're definitely fine. He is also massive. He's got huge hands. You know what that means? Big offensive lineman gloves and feet. 18 size cleats. So he definitely has custom shoes made for him. But I love the versatility. I think Truss is a name to watch for along with Clay Webb that could push for, at very least, a practice squad position. All right, we've got a corner from Florida A&M in the box now with Kendall Bowler. So here's what I know about Kendall Bowler. Bowler last year, 33 tackles, 1 interception. He's got maybe a little bit on the smaller end in terms of size for a UDFA, 5'10 and a half, 194 pounds. Overall, I think at the corner position with Jade Barron getting drafted, it's got a little bit tougher, but wouldn't be shocked if one of these UDFAs can push, Damari Mathis for his roster spot as he's been, up and down, to put it nicely, throughout his career. Let's peek at Joaquin Davis, wide receiver from North Carolina Central. Here's what I know about Joaquin Davis. Davis, I've got my notes on him right here. He's got, 31 grabs last year, 490 yards, 4 touchdowns from North Carolina. And this is a player that was number 7 on the Chad Reuter list at wide receiver. So a decent get right here for Denver. If you want to sound smart amongst your UDFA group message, talk about Joaquin Davis. I think he could potentially make some noise when it comes to the last receiver spot because Denver always seems to find some good players after the draft, like Brandon Johnson from UCF a couple of years ago. Who was that fast guy? Jaylen Virgil. Like, there's always a few receivers that surprise us. Who was the guy that they traded from? They traded from Denver to Detroit. Trinity Benson. So there's a couple of good UDFAs. Okay. After Joaquin Davis, we've got Joe Michalski, number 15 offensive tackle, offensive lineman on Reuters rankings. Here's what I know about him. It's very short and sweet. In 2023, he was the Big 12 Offensive Lineman of the Year. That's all I need to hear for a UDFA. You received that accolade and went undrafted, yeah, you're probably not going to find anyone much better than that. A little bit maybe on the smaller end for an NFL lineman, sub 300 pounds, so maybe hit up the McDonald's drive-thru before you get to Denver for a weigh-in. So that's a name to keep an eye on as a Luke Wattenberg, Alex Forsyth, competition type UDFA. Then we got Christian Dowell from UT Martin. He's from Memphis, Tennessee, went to Christian Brothers, which is where my college roommate went. I asked him if he knew him. He did not know him. 320 pounds, 6'2", and went to UT Martin. Fun fact about UT Martin, when I went to UT Knoxville, the main hub for University of Tennessee, all my stuff got sent to UT Martin. So I know UT Martin pretty well, and I have a bit of a bone to pick with it. So I'm sorry, Christian, not a huge fan of your alma mater. Next up is a linebacker from Utah. It is Karene? I like Karene. Karene Reed. 54 tackles, 6 tackles for loss. He was the number 7 linebacker on Reuters linebacker UDFA rankings. I've got a few more notes on him that I can share with you guys, as he's one of the more promising UDFAs that could have a better chance of making the roster. He's from Utah, American Fork, Utah. Karene. No, I'm not going to try anymore. All right, well, it's a little tough. We've got a lot of experience with him, and he's not super old. No, he is super old. I bet he served an LDS mission then, because he's 25 years old. So him and Devon Vele have some things to talk about. But 4-year starter, it looks like. He was a team captain last year, back-to-back second team all Pac-12 from 2022 to 2023. The blurb that Dane Brugler has on him is undersized and plays fast, self-assured, physical with tackling skills to finish the mission. I wonder if that mission word was tossed in as a little bit of a pun. If healthy, has a chance to earn a role as a backup and a special teams coordinator. Then it's the team alcoholic, Johnny Walker. Not actually, just the whiskey. So edge rusher out of Mizzou. This might be one of the better UDFA signings altogether for the Broncos. Number 11 edge as the UDFA class. He's from Tampa. Obviously, a lot of experience. So on the older end, 6'2", 250 pounds. He had 9.5 sacks last year for the Tigers. So here's what Dane Brugler has written down on him, as I feel like this could be a name to try and remember as a real candidate to make the roster. Spent his entire career with the Tigers, which was a bit of a long career. Redshirted in 2020 during COVID, and then 2-year starter for them. He was a bowl game defensive MVP in 2023. Last year, second team All-SEC, led the team in sacks, tackles for loss, and a team captain. Doesn't play with consistent explosion or bend, but can dip and rip to affect the quarterback. And I think that might be all of our UDFAs, Reid. Okay, so there it is. One more time, all the UDFAs. I'd watch for Clay Webb to really push for a roster spot. I'd watch for Xavier Truss and Joaquin Davis as well. And then I'll toss in Johnny Walker, although that's a really tough position group to break through. But just kind of reviewing all of Denver's draft acquisitions, what was your favorite pick? I know not everyone is in love with this draft class. I certainly am not either. So I'm going to go with Jahdae Barron because I just think that he's going to be a really good player. And yes, running back was a big priority, but let's not lose sight of Denver got an awesome player at an important position who was the Jim Thorpe Award winner with 5 interceptions a year ago for Texas. So I'll go with Barron. Excited to see what him and Pat Surtain can do for years to come.